Champions again, ole, ole.
Ole, champions again, ole, ole. Champions again, champions again, champions again, ole, ole. Come on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Brilliant. How you doing?
Oh,
Tough question,
fuck.
but how you doing?
I'm absolutely buzzing. Rogers told us to check in with him again on May. And the man's delivered. It's been an up and down season. We've all felt the emotions. I remember we're always told about the roller coaster, and it's been an absolute roller coaster of a season. I was saying to my granda, who was watching with my granda and granny, we've through a lot this season, and it's absolutely incredible just to get over the line, get it fired in, and the league title for 3 in a row is coming back to Parkhead. Unbelievable.
What about yourself, James?
I've fucking felt absolutely rank rotten, like death warmed up all day, but all of a sudden I feel absolutely fine and dandy, man. So I wonder what's caused that. But no, absolutely brilliant. Obviously, there's been parts of this season where I didn't think we were going to get to the night, if I'm being honest. But brilliant for me. That makes it all the sweeter.
And I think maybe Willie aside, but I think and maybe Anthony Dunn. I think the majority of moments in this season had all said, "Nah, we think Rangers might do it," because we were going through a wee sticky patch just after December and the winter break and stuff. But Brendan Rodgers, like you said, Stephen, he said, "For those who doubted me, we'll see you back here in May." It was a bold statement to make. Maybe it was a wee bit of arrogance for the guy, considering his previous time round, but the guy's delivered. And I'll just welcome everybody in along the night. We've got to do a wee post-match on the Kilmarnock game, talk about it. We'll obviously talk about what it means and stuff, but just coming straight to you, Stephen, I know you would have been watching the game with your granddad and that. How did you both enjoy it? How did you just a brief summary of the game, then we'll kind of get into it.
It was incredible. First of all, big shout out to the supporters who done the tifo for Tommy Burns. I thought it was a fantastic tribute. It looked amazing on the TV and probably better in person. And also as well, the clap at the start by both sets of supporters was really respectful and that. And look, it's fitting. We won it there. Tommy Burns was involved with both clubs and involved with us the most, obviously. And it was just a fantastic title to get under. I mean, in the bag. We were sitting with my granda, and honestly, we were so relaxed and confident and comfortable, no matter the fact that we got turned over a couple of times by Kilmarnock. We started the game on fire, and we're going to obviously come on to the goals individually, but it was just seeing the players play with that kind of freedom, seeing them enjoy the football, seeing them just link with each other, pressing high, never giving Kilmarnock a second. It's just what we needed, and the support that react to it. The atmosphere was incredible, and everything just fed into each other. You talk about the Holy Trinity tonight; it was on show. The manager, squad, the supporters was all in sync, and it was fantastic. And like James said, there's many times throughout the season, many times throughout on this podcast, I've probably doubted it, probably gave Rodgers a shitload of grief. And look, maybe at the time it was deserved. Let's be fair, but he's turned it around. We've hit incredible form, and like he said before, Celtic come alive at a time like this, and the pressure was on us and we delivered.
No, I think you've summed up perfectly. It has been a wee bit of maybe an up and down season where it started okay, a wee bit tricky, then hit a real high to Christmas, and after Christmas it was a bit of a downer, James, and then we've just at the business end of the season we have turned up. And I don't know about you leading up to into the night's game and stuff. I was maybe a wee bit arrogant and thinking, we'll not lose 3 times in one season at Kilmarnock. The law of averages, it shouldn't happen. So I was kind of confident going into the day. Obviously, Saturday's game kind of I probably did relax the players because you're thinking 2 games to go, you only need a point. You're sure they're going to get that. So I think the players maybe went into a wee bit relaxed, and obviously as the game transpired, it was a pet. Roger said he wanted to sprint over the line. We sprinted over the line and a bit more, I think, the night.
Aye, definitely. Getting the game done nice and early. I was the same as yourself, mate. I just, like you're saying, low averages would dictate they weren't going to beat us again at Rugby Park. And I don't know. I just always feel, see, when it coming off the back of the weekend as well, obviously you take confidence with it, but it just tends to be the way for me when it comes to games like this. So like trophy day and things like that, we do tend to put in a performance, and I think that's probably our best performance of the season. Obviously, as you say, sprinting across the line. But it was just obviously the game was essentially done after quarter of an hour, which then lets the players play with that freedom, and just different class tonight. In the dugout, in the stands, on the park, everywhere, different class.
And I totally, and what was good to see as well, Stephen, is the fact that, like James said, the game was wrapped up after 15 minutes. It was party time for their own, but the team didn't stop. They just, I know we only scored 2 more goals, but I just thought they played with a real great intensity and just kept on going and going. But we'll just kind of go to the sort of first goal at Idah. He came in for a start. I don't. It maybe was a surprise in the sense that Kyogo has been hitting a wee bit of form and been playing well and stuff, and you maybe want to keep these players going because obviously we've got the cup final coming up and things like that. But I think when you consider the pitch, you're also thinking of injuries and stuff. And Idah, I felt, for me, obviously no bit interested in Scottish Cup, talking about the Scottish Cup final, but for me, fitness depending, Kyogo starts that game. But I think Idah started that game and put in a performance that said, by the way, I'm going to try my damnedest to play my way into this cup team anyway.
Yeah, I think without getting into the conversation or topic about transfers and things, we'll stay away from that tonight. It's only positive chat in regards to Idah. I think we saw when Kyogo came on in the second half why Alameda started that game. He was able to hold the ball up. He was able to bring others into play. And I thought Kyogo struggled with the kind of link-up play, and there was a couple of times where his loose passing kind of turned over possession to Kilmarnock. But regardless of that, Idah was an absolute animal. But when he was on the pitch, he was chasing everything. He was closing down. His first touch was excellent. And his goal, as where every striker should be, at the 6-yard box, and he's there to tap in a wonderful pick out by, was it Matt O'Reilly with the assist of the first goal, or was it Forrest? Matt O'Reilly. It was a brilliant ball just round the corner of the centre backs, and he came in at the back post. And I think most of our goals were reminiscent of that, especially in the first half. And we must have worked on that during the week to draw Kilmarnock out and get in behind them, because obviously they play that low block, and I thought we coped with that really well. As I said, Idah, he really impressed me tonight. He really did. He was hard working, he was athletic, and he gets stuck in about it. And I thought he was a great outball. Not only the fact that we missed the midfield at points, but we hit the ball long to him, and I would say probably 80% of the time it stuck. And he was bringing Forrest into play. He was bringing Maid into play, and it was great to get that kind of link, because we've seen it before at Rugby Park. When we didn't have the outball, they were able to press us really deep into the pitch, and we struggled with that physical aspect of the game that they're actually pretty good at. But Alameda, while he was on the pitch, delivered the goods. And you look at the boots he had against Sevco on Saturday. What was it? It was green for Ireland or something like that. It was just brilliant. You hear that old cliche, he's bought into the club. He definitely has bought into the club. I think he's a supporter from a young boy, and that performance will live long in the memory for him anyway. It was just fantastic all round.
And I thought he summed up his performance perfectly, Stephen. I thought the guy put in a great performance. Sometimes I felt like, I don't think he's brilliant all the time he's back to goal. I think he struggles sometimes, but tonight I thought he'd done really well, James. Like I say, I think we did sort of bypass the midfield, not all the time, but I think more often, which I think helped us get up the park quicker and maybe turn Kilmarnock round and sort of counter that sort of low block that they played. And you've seen it with like the goals and stuff. But if you just want to talk about Idah's first goal and just his overall game today, I thought it was brilliant.
I like Idah. I don't know if it's just the price tag thing that maybe gets no sticks, probably the wrong option, but it seems to have his kind of doubters. I think because of that 5 million price tag, but I'm sure that's him. I'm sure in the time that he's been at the club, he's outscored Kyogo. It's either 8-7 or 9-8. I'm sure it is. But look, for me, I like him. I think it's a great problem to have going into the cup final. I imagine we'll probably see Idah again at the weekend and then Kyogo in the final. But if Idah starts up front, I've no issues with it at all. I like the big man. What he does well, Kyogo Disney. What Kyogo does well, Idah probably Disney. So I like him. as I say, the understand the 5 million price tag, maybe a wee sticking point for realistically what's probably going to be a second choice striker. But games like tonight, obviously Rugby Park, plastic, horrible, sticky pitch. Kilmarnock's just going to elbow, kick, knee, anything that moves. Probably similar to the way St Mirren treated it at the weekend as well. And he stands up and he's accounted for. And no a slight in Kyogo, but when that tends to happen, sometimes he can be quiet in games until he tends to kind of inevitably score. But it's a great problem to have, and I like the big man. It wouldn't bother me if either of them started, to be honest, going into the cup final.
I know we're saying we're not really got to get into the Adam Idah thing, Stephen, but it feels like the conversation's naturally going that way. And I'm a funny one with him. I don't want to totally slate the guy the night, considering what he's done for us and what he's done for us since he came in. It's a weird one for me with him. Maybe the next couple of games could change that, like James says, if he starts or features at the weekend and scores a goal or has a big game, and then features in one way or another in the cup final, has a big impact on that. And that's, I think, as a football fan, you might just, the ones that, like myself, that are maybe on the fence, I'll sway towards bringing him in. Like, he's one of the boys that if we sign him, I'll be happy. But if we don't, I'll not be disappointed. It's a weird one. And I don't know, it's maybe one of them, but it's certainly somebody that I wouldn't be disappointed if we brought in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm along the thinking of you, Franny. I think we've had this, as you said, this discussion many times around Adam Idah. If we bring him in, fair enough. If we don't, fair enough. You kind of let it go. For me, if he produced the performance like he did tonight, week in, week out, then you could probably gather up that kind of momentum and pay that 5 million fee. And I know what James is saying about him outscoring Kyogo, but Kyogo's still our number one striker, and in the cup final, depending on the fitness, he's starting. It's a different game totally because the pitch opens up. There's more space for Kyogo to exploit. Idah came into his own tonight because it was a physical battle. He was up against really tall, athletic centre backs, and he backed into them well. He held the ball up, and as I said, he connected the midfield with the attack, which is something we really struggled with in the previous games at Rugby Park because McInnes plays that way. Look, I don't want to get into the as James said, slagging him off or anything, or what he could do better. He was fantastic tonight in an important game of the season for us to get the league title over the line, and that for me is all that counts. And look, Franny, you're right. If he comes on against St Mirren on the weekend, and he produces like he did tonight, kind of that kind of physical performance, because you know that Stephen Robinson again. St Mirren are a very, very fit team, probably one of the fittest teams in the SPFL in terms of their running, their pressing, and their dynamism. And look, if Idah needs to come on the second half and make the same impact as he did tonight, then so be it. But for now, Kyogo is obviously, for me, head and shoulders. There's a wee nod to Joe Hart. He's our number one striker. It's always a conundrum. It's what we talk about week in, week out. Can you pay the 5 million fee? Is it worth it to bring in a backup striker at that price? And then you can hark back to the Jack and Macus argument. He only cost 2 million from the club he was at in Holland. So there's different ways you can look at it. For me, the 5 million is a bit too much for him, but the impact he is making is good. Let's see if he can keep it up towards the end of the season. Let's see if he can have an impact in the cup final. And then the ball is in Celtic's court and what they want to do going forward.
Nah, totally. And I think we'll try and, like we say, stay away from talking about transfers and stuff. It's not for the night. And
I know we like doing it, Franny. I know we like doing it.
We love our remember Stephen, James, and all that. We'll soon find that out soon enough that how we climb out a lot. But what was I going to say? So obviously the big money he's came in and had a great impact and gets us off to the perfect start. Like it's all cliche, start quick and stuff. And then I think it's 10, 11 minutes or something. Nice wee intricate play, a wee bit similar. Johnson gets the ball, cuts it back, and there's Idah James coming in. What he's done countless times was another guy that weirdly is, for his severe lack of football ability at times, is a massive player for us and kind of key for us at times. And it just after 10 minutes, that for me, that was it. It was party time.
Aye, definitely, and he's another one. He's kind of looks as if he's coming bang onto form. Well, obviously at the right time now the league's done and dusted, but again, getting into the cup final. Just to get back to the game at the weekend as well. The OG for the big man. The ball for Carter Vickers in Maidah's touch was the most un-Maidah touch ever. Normally that's going out for a shy or it's going out the dugout at the other side, but I know obviously when Harry Kewell was here he was doing a lot of work with him, but to be honest we still had the odd kind of, I say the odd, that it was happening like what, 150 times a game or something, the cross from one side to the other, but not that he genuinely doesn't seem to be doing that pretty much at all. I think since he's come back from injury, he looks bang at it again. He looks a lot more composed, and again, probably similar earlier in the season, even just in his kind of time at Celtic. I've never really bought into him being the key man out with the Rangers games. I get he makes a difference up against Tavernier, but I thought he was brilliant tonight. I think he's been brilliant since he came back in. I think it's the best form he's shown in the time that he's been here. And as I say, brilliant timing to carry it into the cup final. And the goal is, as we were saying earlier in the group chat as well, very similar. The first two goals really were very similar to the goals we've seen a million times last season under Ange. But brilliant. Long may it last for him.
And I think it's key what James is saying there, Stephen. The cup final takes care of itself. It's a one-off game. The jeopardy in terms of the league's not there, but you want your players to go into it with form. And Maeda is another one. Since he's came back, it was one of the ones I don't know. We were all seemed to be all desperate for him to come back just for that Rangers game, essentially. But then it was like it would maybe pinning too much on a guy that we know. We've all said it hasn't got the best football ability in the world, and we're pinning a lot of our hopes on this guy. But the guy, you cannot fault any. For me, you can't fault any performances since he came back. And like James said, that touch that led to the OG at the weekend, that was brilliant. The way he just popped that out there.
Oh, it was a fantastic. The ball from Carter Vickers on the weekend was sublime as well. He tried that a few times tonight against Kilmarnock, and it paid off a couple of times. But I mean, for me, the biggest compliment I can give Maeda, I know, and again, you've seen the drop off when Palma come on. That guy, I have no words for him at the minute. Palma, I thought he was an absolute joke again when he came on the pitch. Bar one ball he played in the bar one ball he played in the Kyogo. He was lost the ball countless times. But in terms of Dyson, look, ever since he's got the hairdo as well, I'm done. He's a changed man. Obviously, these things coming and fits and starts with him. He turns into a genius. Is closing down, and he has the touch all in one. Or you just get Dyson who can close down but can't finish his dinner. And just at this precise moment, we're getting Maeda, who's hungry, who's getting into the box, and he's in double figures now. I heard the commentary team say so. That's good numbers for our wingers at the moment. Anyway, he's up to 10, a couple of assists in that. And like I said, the first 3 goals were very, very similar to each other in terms of the phases of play. But look, I've always liked Dyson Maeda. Yes, he lacks football ability, like you said, Franny, sometimes, but you can't question his effort. You can't question his commitment to the cause. We've seen the tifo at the start. You're playing for people and a cause, and I think Dyson Maeda definitely understands that, and he is a phenomenal player when everything clicks, and still he's finally when everything clicks, and he's also a good player when he just has a closing down aspect of his game, as we see against that Sevco time and time again. And look, well, I finally admit that Idah is better than O. Me and you'll have a wee chat in private, Gavin.
Will you admit Palmer's better than Yang?
Take her face for a shite, James.
I mean, like as much as I like Yang, he's getting harder to defend that guy. Like, but I mean, we'll maybe get on to Palmer on that later. But I think you're talking piss about Palmer the next, Stephen. I think he's a frustrating player.
I don't understand what because he defended a couple of times.
I'm not going to sit to say he was like a fucking 10 out of 10, but the guy was far from hopeless when he came on. I don't really think anybody was hopeless in it. But we'll just kind of move on to the third goal, James, that Maeda turns into provider. Again, Idah picks the ball up about 30-40 yards out, back to goal, turns and plays off a great through ball. Maeda utilises his pace, and it's a great cross with Idah and James Forrest there, just at the back. Well, Kenny in the middle goal, just to tap it in. So almost 3 carbon copies. Certainly the second and third are pretty much exact same goals, just for either side. But it was just great to see just Kenny playing good football and just no stopping.
James Forrest again, another one that's been absolutely pivotal in the last few weeks. Obviously, must be, you can tell he's playing well if he's keeping Louis Palmer out the team. So I fair play to James Forrest, but he again. I mean, the full team pretty much bang at it again tonight. James
Palmer.
James Forrest been brilliant in recent times. Like, we've been having a laugh and a joke about the manager's comments, as we've said 100 times before, about him being the best winger at the club. And look, he's shown that. He's shown that the last few weeks when it's really mattered. He's stood up and been counted. And he's probably first name in the team sheet, for me at least. Anyway, I think the last few weeks he's been absolutely brilliant.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I wouldn't say he fell out the Rangers game, but he certainly started the Rangers game flying, Stephen. He's seen it first chance he got, he just ran at Barisic. And I thought that was really good. It showed he's got confidence. Even if it doesn't go by him, it's showing that I'm getting the ball, I'm coming at you. Then I think it was that was obviously that led to Suter nearly getting an OG, because he taken him on the inside. And what I thought was clever for Forrest, the next time he got it, he went on the inside. So straight away, Barisic straight off the bat, it's like, God, he's went by me first time. And then the second time, it's like, oh, maybe I'll show him. I know he's got it there, and he goes inside. So it's just, you're putting Barisic on the back foot straight away. But again, James called it right. Forrest, since he's came in, he's showed his experience in the night. It's kind of fitting that someone like that gets on the score sheet.
Yeah, he's been failed at a running, hasn't he? It's like watching James Forrest of old when Rodgers first came in, when he kind of re-energized his career, when it looked like he was going to leave us. But Franny, you nailed it. His experience has came to the fore, and we needed our senior players like Calmack, Carter Vickers, Greg Taylor, Joe Hart. They all stand up, be counted, and James Forrest is firmly in that camp, and he's pulled us through some games. And against Sevco in particular, the amount of times he had Barisic's question, where's he going? Is he going on the outside, inside? He couldn't really keep up with him in the first half, especially. And then what I've noticed as well, with him driving inside and then Alzer Johnson pulling the fullback away, the amount of times he could find Matt O'Reilly just on the edge of the box is insane. He's picking that pass out time and time again. And if O'Reilly takes a wee bit of time and hits that shot, I mean, 9 times out of 10 he's going to work the keeper. And I like that wee kind of link up play we're seeing. Look, again, it goes back to the kind of topic last week. Should we be in this position where we're landing on Forrest? See that tonight, I don't really give a fuck. James Forrest is on the score sheet. Maeda turned provider, like you said, and he was in the right place at the right time with a calm and composed finish. And as I agree with James totally, he's one of the first names of the team sheet. He's been vital. He's been excellent. And it's not as if you're only getting 15 minutes of James Forrest now. You're getting basically 60, 70 minutes of him playing at a top level and getting in about it, taking on the fullback, getting the ball into the box and scoring goals. And that's what we need from wingers. And the experience side of things is one that you can turn to. He's been over the course of Celtic many years, many league titles, many trophies, and he can guide the players behind him as well.
And there's Paul McFarlane. Champions Day, and you can't even wear a bit of green and white.
Listen. We're here celebrating. We could. That's okay. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. It's fine.
Okay, we'll just leave it there. And then, obviously, that's us. We're up 3-0, Stephen. And we still keep going. We're still playing, but it's one of the ones where the scales has an effort. Keeper makes a decent save, and O'Reilly had a couple, and it almost got a wee bit. I wouldn't say like a training game. It felt like they were still zipping the ball about, but I thought some players just started enjoying themselves. I was saying it was just any old person having a go for a wee while, for not necessarily for the remainder of the half, but I think for long periods after that, it was like we're getting into the good areas and maybe just not making the right decision at that time. If that would be the right time to say, I don't know how you sort of seen it after we sort of went well, after about sort of 25 minutes, it felt, as I say, not necessarily a training game, but once it got to the final third, I felt guys were maybe being a wee bit greedier.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. And I found it interesting, Rodgers speaking about Hatate after the Glasgow Derby game, saying he took him off because he was wasteful with the ball and he wasn't taking care of the ball. And I was watching tonight, like, every time Hatate had the ball and he gave it away, and the camera panned to Rodgers, he was putting his arms out, he's making the gesture as the ball to take care of it. And you know what Rio's like, he plays off the cuff. It was just interesting to see that dynamic. And I think you're right. It did turn into a training game. It turned into attack v defence. And some Celtic players just enjoyed themselves. I mean, we were 3-0 up after 35 minutes. And look, you want 6, 7, 8, 9. But at the end of the day, the players have a right to express themselves more on the pitch. And yes, they were getting in the right areas and maybe players were having pot shots. But at the end of the day, it was a fantastic game of football to watch. Did we go through the motions? I don't know. You have to have Rodgers that one. But we scored 2 in the second half. And look, it was a fantastic game all round. And I'm thinking about it, just the phases of play I can remember. Obviously, your man goes hazy when you come on the podcast straight after it. And I thought the link-up play in midfield was absolutely superb. I thought Callum McGregor controlled things. I thought Rio was back to his best, albeit he gave the ball away a few times. And just seeing that kind of unit again. What's that? Their 8th start. I remember Chris Sutton saying against Rangers, they only played 7 times throughout the season together. And you can see the impact they have. It's the best midfield in Scotland, the best individual players in Scotland, and they rise to the top. The quality rises to the top. And like, training game or not, we've won the league. Champions again.
Nah, totally. And like Brown Water says, James, I think they were having fun. That was, you can't grudge any of the sort of players, especially in the remainder of that first half, and trying to get in that. Like Scales has had a really good season. His standards have dropped a wee bit, or maybe you're just finding that's his level when you see some of his passing of late and things like that. But he was obviously trying to have a goal and things like that, and not really got an issue with guys that when you're still zipping the ball about quick and stuff. But I've not got an issue when guys like Scales are having a pop for 20 odd yards and things like that. Just try to enjoy themselves as well.
Aye, God knows where he learned how to do that. He's kept that well hidden all season. If that went in, it was busting the net. Fucking still travelling the new probably. But not like Scales just came in for a bit of flack. It's leading up to the semi-final. Well, sorry, just after the semi-final against Aberdeen. That was. I kind of felt. I thought.
Hold on a wee second. Bring that comment back up. It was a Celtic and Hearts game, but you know, I watched the Glasgow Derby game. The Irish Cup final was the week before. But on you go, James. Sorry.
That was the game you went to Linfield, wasn't it? Yeah, Linfield. No, like Scales, and I stuck up for Scales. Scales, I thought, was getting a lot of unwarranted stick. And to be honest, after the semi-final against Aberdeen, I thought, right, enough's enough now. It's the last kind of few weeks, and I think the lowest they got was that Aberdeen semi-final. I thought it was terrible. He's got a horn in a couple of the goals, but just in general. But again, fair play to him. Since then, I think he's barely set a fit rang. The issue with Liam Scales for me is just the length. It's not even that he makes a bad pass. It's just the length of time that he takes to actually make the pass, which then means whoever he's passing it to 9 times out of 10 is going to have somebody right up their arse. But no, I like Liam Scales. I think he deserved his new deal. The length of it maybe is a talking point. It's 4 years too long for, you would imagine. You'd probably like to think moving forward he's going to be a squad player. You'd like to think somebody will come in and partner Carter Vickers that will sign in the summer. But no, fair play to him. Like, he's had a brilliant season. We've signed £8.5 million worth of centre backs, and he's managed to keep them out of the team. So fair play to him.
Paul McFarlane's just totally got me going mental.
Always the postman. Always the postman, isn't it?
Always a postman. But I just on Liam Scales as well, Stephen. It was, as I say, I thought he did turn in a good performance the day he has came in for some sort of criticism from some of the fan base, myself included, I think, and in that of recent weeks, but it was nice to see him. Like I said, along with everybody in that team today, it was nice to see him just having a good game today, and obviously he has that shot and stuff. And I don't know how you felt about guys like that. Just try to enjoy themselves, champion and trophy day.
If that shot had went in, it probably would have been an excuse for him to be first choice defender next season because he could score goals now. But no one of them ones. He's out of everything. The tool belt's getting bigger. But no, look, Liam Scales, he's done well. He's a good squad player. That's all he is, in my opinion. Against Sevco, I counted. There was times he was taking 7 or 8 touches before the ball was released, and 9 times out of 10 he was turning back. And he done that a few times tonight. There was times he could have played in McGregor in the pocket, could have played at the Rio in the pocket, but he chose to turn back on himself and play a dangerous ball to Joe Hart on a couple of occasions. But look, he's done the job. He's done the job required. He's got us over the line. He had a wonderful shot. I'm sure he'll record that and look at it again. And the keeper made a good save. And if he sticks around, he will stick around. He got the new deal. He'd be a fantastic squad player to have. He's been over the line now, getting league titles back at Parkhead. So yeah, done the job, mate. That's really where I stand with Liam Scales at the minute. He's annoyed me the last couple of weeks. So yeah, he's done the job tonight. That's all that counts.
Right, well, let's quickly move on to the second half then, because you're turning this into a depressing podcast here.
I'm not, but you asked me my opinion, and I just told you.
I don't know, but they didn't. It was fucking Liam
Scales getting slaughtered, Idah getting slaughted, going to Linfield games. Fucking hell.
James, knock in the head, mate. Knock in the head.
But James, we'll just kind of come into the second half, and you could excuse the players if they just totally taken their foot off the gas at 3-0 and just enjoyed the second half. Obviously, the fans, I don't think would have had absolutely any issue with that. They were in full voice from the off, I feel like, and obviously after we went up 3-0, it was just the songbook was out, and what you could hear on Sky, it was quite a good songbook tonight and things like that. It seemed like the fans were enjoying themselves. But again, 5 minutes into the second half, Matt O'Reilly pulls one, like, what a strike that boy has, and he's just back on the back of winning Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, and Players Player of the Year at Celtic and stuff. He topped it off with an absolute, well, obviously the Rangers goal, then he's topped it off with a wonderful strike tonight.
Both his goals, I just thought he made it look absolutely effortless as well. He doesn't look as if he's ever going to break sweat. And he obviously been brilliant this season. He had that kind of wee dip around about January when the transfer chat was there, but I deservedly Player of the Year, well, Player of the Year, fucking all the Players of the Year. But no, his goal, the fourth goal's the pick of the bunch. Was an absolute belter. I actually thought he'd taken it off. I can't mind if it was Hitati or somebody kind of right beside him, and I thought he kind of taken it off their toe because I thought they were running out wide. But no, fair enough. If it can take half him and burst the net, then fair dues, But I just absolutely brilliant. Makes it look absolutely effortless, and as I say, doesn't look as if he's going to break sweat. But different class again.
I thought Matt O'Reilly was brilliant tonight, Stephen. Again, obviously, like we said, just at the start of the second half, if there was any sort of a doubt that we were taking our foot off the gas, he slowly put that to bed with, like James said, like a strike that was just fitting of the guy's ability.
Oh, man, he's incredible. He is an incredible player. And in my opinion, he'll go to the very top. The goal he took, geez, so he left that keeper for dead. We're talking about Scales' shot, but see that placement, just rippled the top of the net. I mean, it's a far cry from what Kenny Miller said last night about Scott Wright's goal, ripping through the top of the net when it was. Do you remember that? Shambles, wasn't it? You know, I think James, you pointed that out in the comments. No, in our group chat, sorry. But what a goal by Matt O'Reilly! He is just sublime. He makes it, as you said, Franny. It's effortless. He just takes the ball in. And I know Rodgers loves players with that cliche, takes care of the ball. He literally does take care of the ball. That's his whole game. Everything's simplified. And what I love about him, he's a player, probably sounds stupid, but he can slow down time. He doesn't panic. He can see what's around him, and he can pick the right pass. He can pick the right shot time and time again. This season, 15, 16 league goals, assists added on to that, brings up to 29, 30 goal contributions from a midfield position. sublime. There's nothing more you can say about him. And it's just, look, again, we'll have him hopefully next season, but we know we'll definitely have him for the next couple of games, and I'm just going to enjoy him. I'm just going to enjoy the way he plays football because he's a joy to watch.
Well, I think that's it, James. You have just got to enjoy this guy. That you are both talking about how he just makes things look effortless. I think his goal against Rangers showed that. It just seemed like he had all the time in the world, which you've never really got in these games. Even his 2 goals a night, especially his second one, where he just seemed to he picked it up in a bit in the penalty spot and just sort of passed into the corner net. It seems to be the only goal I've totally went blank on right now. But it just summed up Matt O'Reilly in one strike, how he just never ever panics, and I think that just shows the level of player that we've got in our hands right now.
Aye, the last goal, as you say, picks up all the time, all the space in the world, and you just can't game that, and then it's just as I say, it looks effortless, just passes it into the bottom corner. Probably not as good as his 4th goal, but still another belter. Just as I say, how effortless he makes it look. But I just again, as I say, brilliant.
I don't know. It was good, Stephen. Like I said, it topped off a great night. Just Matt O'Reilly, he's probably been our player of the year. Obviously, the awards will show that, but he gets a double, and that's just Matt O'Reilly doing Matt O'Reilly things.
He's just being Matt O'Reilly, mate. That's what he is. He's he's up there with the best midfielders in Scotland. You have to take Cal McGregor into that consideration and Rio Watate when he's on top form. But that's what I'm saying. And what I said before there, the way he takes the ball in, many players in that position round about the penalty box want to get that shot away quickly. They either snapshot it or they just swivel on it and hit and hope. He took time to pick his spot in a crowded area. That is the sign of me of a player who's going to be world class. He will be world class. He's getting to that levels. Wherever he ends up, he'll be phenomenal. I've no question in my mind. And like you said, did I want him to stay on to get a hat trick? 100%. But we'll have to wrap him up in cotton wool. He has to be took care of for these next couple of games coming up, especially the final. We can have a party on Saturday since we know the league title's coming home. But yeah, Brown Warrior, composure, just that kind of awareness. And I look around at my granddad and was like, so what's that word? Nonchalant, isn't it? People say. Aye. Me butchering the pronunciation again. But he is just a brilliant player, and I'm enjoying why he's here, because at the end of the day, look, you've seen him. It's not only that as well. Last season he got 4 or 5 goals, but he was top of the assist table. What he's improved this season under Rodgers is getting into the box, being that final runner, breaking the lines, being in the right areas, getting a goal return. And as I said, he's on 30 goal contributions from probably in the round maybe 42 or 43 appearances if you take into the league over a course of a season. He made it into the top 10 assist makers in the Champions League, and we only were in the group stage. So it speaks volumes of what he can actually provide on the pitch. And he's a major, major influence on the team. I would classify him as a leader. I love his journey. I love the fact that he left Fulham as a young boy, trained in local parks. He got a chance at MK Dons. He was the best performing midfielder outside of the top league in England. Celtic took the punt on him for $1.5 million. Incredible.
It kind of pisses on your argument, Stephen, when we say we need to spend money to get guaranteed good players. But
this is the thing. Look, you can sign 20 players and get you can sign 20 players and get one. That's Matt O'Reilly. That's Matt O'Reilly.
And just think as well, he wasn't our first choice at that time.
No,
our first choice was that boy Riley McGree. Was it McGree or McGee that can't get a game for? Is it Middlesbrough now? And he don't think he can get in the team. So just shut down with that. Really,
that has been the best knockback ever, I think. Mm-hmm. That has been the best knockback ever. And we'll just kind of wrap up the game, if you like. You make the 5 changes with the front 3 and then the 2 midfielders get changed. I still felt the intensity stayed up, but Stephen, obviously it was players are just kind of playing their way through the game. Even at times the Kilmarnock players were just playing their way through the game. I think there was at one point it was about 70 odd minutes and it was about in the halfway line. The Kilmarnock boy, he chested it and half volleyed it all the way back to his goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper just booted it. And then there was even one time where Cameron Carter-Vickers was near the end, and then it had all the time in the world, and he just booted it at the stadium, and it felt just like it was just they were playing up to the crowd, but it was one of the ones that were just, when's this game going to finish? When can we properly celebrate?
Well, that's the thing. You mentioned the training aspect, like a training game. That's for me when it turned into that, like an exhibition match, passing Ole from the crowd. And look, the one thing I noticed from the substitutions was the intensity level stayed there, the closing down, the pressing, but it was the quality aspect of things dropped off for me. I thought, as I said, we know the reason why Idah started the game, and I think we can all kind of give Rodgers applause for that. But seeing Kyogo basically make no impact in the game when he come on, no slide on him, by the way. It's just not his pitch. It's not what he's built to do. He's used to just exploit the space. I thought Kuhn had a couple of flashes, but again, I think the physical aspect took control of him. And as I said about Palma, I mean, about one ball into Kyogo that maybe he should have laid on for Rio to hit into the net, but he didn't try to be greedy with it like all strikers do. But yeah, you're right about the intensity levels, Franny, but I think Rodgers said it there in his most recent kind of press conference. He said his hope for next season is we're going to be much stronger. The quality is going to improve going into this transfer window. And for me, the drop-off was quite noticeable tonight. And I don't want to be negative about it, but Forrest the Kuhn, you can understand Kuhn's still settling in. He's had a couple of good appearances. And as I said, Idah, we can all see why I got the start. Bernardo barely got a pass strung together. Maybe two or three that were loose straight away, but one were out of the park. One he tried to think Kuhn wasn't looking. Rodgers was like, "What are you doing?" Do you know what I mean? Tomoki Iwata was decent when he came on, but yeah, I'm excited with what's to come. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth there. What's to come with the team? I'm excited about Rodgers' comments for going into this transfer window. I'm excited to see who we're bringing. I'm buzzing we're champions again. I don't want to be negative. I have been a few times tonight, but it's just a celebration. The whole team's involved, the coaching staff, incredible.
Nah, totally agreeing. Like, I'm not going to be too downbeat, James, about the intensity dropping. Just 5-0 up, you've made 5 changes. That's going to happen, isn't it?
Aye, that's it, mate. The game's done when they're coming on. We know what was at stake. We know the job's done. So it's party time and the players will know that and all. But look, as I said in the group chat, I like Palma, and I didn't know if I just had my Palma tinted specs on. Like, I thought Palma was really good when he came on.
I think he was good.
Tell me one thing he done well apart from the ball into Kyogo.
We set up
his decision making. He wasn't greedy, I don't think. And
he was tracking back a lot more. I think he tracked back more in that last 20-25 minutes he was on the park than he has in the rest of his Celtic career. I agree. He is a really, really frustrating player, but I don't know. I just think there's something about him. There's something about him I quite like, and if he keeps up that kind of work ethic, I suppose, in terms of the tracking back, and
I agree with that.
Then either defo could be a future for him.
I know. I think he's got that South American wee bit nutter bit about him, and that he's just. Cause I think there was one point. I don't know if it was Danny Armstrong kind of wiped him out, and he go up, and it looked like he was going to sprint for him, but he just ran by him.
James, that's a cracker.
That's actually decent. And I don't know, for like a split second he was going to have a go, then realised that's fine. This is not the day for that carry on, and just kind of sprint it by him. But I do like Palmer, but I find him frustrating as well. We'll no come to you, Stephen, because we're trying to keep it positive. But what I will come to you is just, I know the season's not over as such, but the league campaign as a contest is over. Just not a massive sum up. We'll obviously do our own specials, but just sum it up for you. Sum it up for yourself.
I mean, like you said, we'll do our end of season review like we always do. Probably 9 or 10 of us on this time, so it'll be quite a bumper podcast to look forward to. Probably 6 or 7 hours this one, so get your sleeping bags and your blankets ready. But look, if I had to give a quick summary of it, as I said at the start, it's been an absolute roller coaster of emotions from myself. And I think if you look back, maybe December time, I was absolutely furious. I remember being on the podcast and ripping into Rodgers, ripping into the team, and look, at the time you have to call out bad performances. You have to, and you have to give your own opinion. Things can change. Things can develop. We can go on a run. Just because you said 1 week Kuhn was crap doesn't mean you have to say that opinion all the time. Opinions change throughout football all the time. So it's all right to change your mind. as they always say. And it's been one of these ones where, like, again, what Brenda said, time and time again, they're coming. Rangers are coming. They've won 7 or 8 games in a row. They're flying. They're going to win the league. They're going to win the treble. Listening to Kenny Miller last night, I think they still had a sniff or a hope of winning the league the way he was getting on. And it's just these things time and time again that give you that sense of just pure joy, just enjoying it, rubbing it in their face. I mean, coming up from the doldrums, coming up from their death when they shouldn't have been allowed to. They should have just stayed dead. Going for 55 and all this. Just give me a break. Give me a break. It's an incredible achievement. I would say this probably ranks up with Rodgers' invincible season in terms of meaning, and also that Champions League bounty as well. Celtic did make it tougher than it should have been. We dropped a 7-point lead, I think, at one point. I think we're all fuming about that. Getting beat by Hearts twice, Kilmarnock twice, it isn't good enough, no matter what way you look at it. Remaining unbeaten against the dead lot was fantastic. Clementine having a meltdown over having fun. But I tell you what, see Saturday, it's going to be fun. There's going to be enjoyment. There's going to be celebrations. There's going to be a title party. We're going to hear from Rodgers on the mic. We're going to hear from players around the stadium as well. I'm looking forward to that. I look forward to trophy days now. And it's just an incredible achievement all round. Looking forward to the cup final. But obviously we will get on that when the time comes. But just at this moment, Franny, kind of quick summary of it, long-winded answer. It's been an absolute roller coaster. And I've enjoyed 70% of it.
I know. We've noticed, Stephen, you made it blatantly obvious that you enjoyed Summit and know it. Just before I come to you, James, Adrian McGrath, I've never seen him in the comments, so welcome along. He's just kind of asked, just came across this looking for highlights. I have a question. Does having an Irish international and team scoring goals make it better, or does it make no difference one way or another? We'll just ask yourself, James.
Doesn't make a difference to me. Yeah, I could be for fucking Hong Kong to get back to the quiz for a couple of weeks ago.
Is that in China or is it in country?
No, it doesn't matter to me, mate. Where he's from, as long as he's fucking sticking the ball in the back of the net, that's all I'm after. But in terms of the season overall, look, early on, well, to be honest, probably until the last kind of couple of months, I've been pretty kind of doom and gloom, and I don't think, look, you can dress it up however you want. The recruitment last summer was terrible. It was really poor.
But I think Saturday proved that not one of the players started that we signed.
Aye, 100%. Look, and obviously since then, Mark Globel's been at the door, so you take that as a positive. But look, the fitba for like that kind of spell prior to Christmas, before Christmas, it wasn't good. We can dress it up however we want. It wasn't good. For me, honestly, look, I've probably said it in the group chat as well, the game at Ibrox, where we took the moral defeat, for me, that was a must not lose game. Look, and I know the way it played out, obviously, conceding in the last minute is a bit of a gut punch, but it doesn't change the fact that that for me was a must not lose game. And ever since we came away from Ibrox without getting beat, that's when I've been confident that we'll get it over the line and we'll do it. But I've been kidding myself on if I said prior to that I was confident at all, to be totally honest. But as I say, that's what makes it all the sweeter. That's what makes it all the better when it's pretty unexpected. And look, I've fucking called for him to be sacked at times this year, but I'll give him he's due 1,000,000%. In the last, well, pretty much since the winter break, he's earned his money. He's been absolutely brilliant. As I say, bringing Forrest in out of nowhere. I feel as if we play slightly different to how we did earlier in the season as well.
Yeah.
I'll let him stay for next season. I suppose that's what I'm saying.
Give him a couple of games, James. Where you
give him a couple of pre-season friendlies.
Well, I think we will. We'll see what he can do in the pre-season, and we'll take it for there. We'll take it for there. But I'm sure we'll certainly. Me and Stephen will certainly get sucked back in. But all the rumours that we're signing McTominay for 17 million. the Swiss boy for about 20 million. And let's hope it's not what we done last summer, Stephen, but we'll see. Time will tell. Me and you, I know definitely, we'll try and pretend we'll not get sucked in, but
we will. Always.
Oh, we will. James Anthony and Gavin might start snoozing or leaving the group chat because of the shite that we'll put in it over the summer months. Like, we'll just realise that what we're searching is absolutely horrendous. But
I think what we do, Franny, we go down rabbit holes on Twitter. Like, we find links with everyone. It's crazy what we can find.
Like Football Insider and that Frank McAvenny said, we'll sign this guy. Now I'm taking it as gospel and that.
Fabian Reader, 15 million quid. Like, what?
I know. I remember that we said we were signing Reader and McTominay. We were adamant, Stephen, but we'll just gloss out that and pretend that we didn't say anything.
Never happened.
No evidence.
Well,
but if you look back in the group chat, there might be. But though we'll kind of wrap it up for the night. James, I'm sure you'll enjoy Saturday a bit more now. Obviously, you hope for a good performance and a winning performance, but at the end of the day, that's not what Saturday's about. It's what's going to be there. Sometimes games like Saturday just kind of get in the way of what the fans are there for. But are you looking forward to it?
Aye, buzzing for it now. Aye, obviously getting out of the line tonight makes it that bit kind of less pressure on it. Not that there was ever really going to be, but no, I'd get them. Your Carter, Vickers, Hatate, McGregor, I'd get them all wrapped up in cotton wool for the cup final. And when we've got Louis Palma up front, we've got more than enough to win the game. So I'm looking forward to a Louis Palma masterclass on Saturday.
Right, quick one, Stephen, because obviously I'll not ask you about Saturday because, well, James is at it, so we'll ask you, French Eddie, you having him back? Yeah or nay?
Oh, gee, that's a tough one. I don't know if he's on a free, is he? I think he's just on the transfer list from
if
Palace.
he's on a
I don't
free,
know.
I'm taking him back.
If he's on a free, I would take him back 100%. But if he's on a permanent basis, I don't think we can afford him. If Crystal Palace are looking for a return on the money they spent, I think it's probably out of the question. Maybe a loan deal, possibly, and then that way we don't get Idah. No, I'm only joking. But no, I think you always have to be open to the possibility of players of that caliber being interested in coming back to Celtic. There's a major difference for me when it's former players who are linked. We talk about jobs for the boys. Edward has talent. He is. When you get the best of Edward, he's probably unplayable. And the bits we've seen of him with Kyogo, way at the start of Postecoglou's tenure, it looked promising. And obviously, he went on to the Premier League. Look, it's a possibility. Could it happen? Probably about 10% of that happening would have taken back, yes, in a heartbeat. But nah, I think it's a no-go.
Miovski's twice in played anyway.
Exactly, James.
Miovski. That's it over. I mean, I would take him back. Personally, I don't think he'll have ambitions of going to the Premiership and coming straight back up to the Scottish League. I think he'll may end up going back out of France, but I think he'll try and stay in one of the perceived bigger leagues, if you like. But we'll just we'll wrap up the podcast. We'll not ask you if he's enjoyed it because, I mean, it doesn't matter if he's did. We're champions. Glasgow
champions, man.
Is green and white again. This is our city. It always will be our city. Champions.